you guys. It's me, Dr. Torie. My book is officially out. And yes, it is time to talk about ACEs. You guys can find the books everywhere. However, I would encourage you guys to go to my website, Be VicTORIEus.com, and place your order today. Yes, it's time to talk about ACEs. Let's go, y'all.
Hello, hello, you guys. Welcome to another episode of Be Victorious. Let me tell y'all something. I am so excited about the guest that we have. When I tell you, I have to say thank you to my brother, Calvin. Of course, we're going to get back together. Of course, we're going to do our podcast. I met this wonderful, intelligent Black young lady through him. She came on the live and we have been connected ever since. It has been my pleasure to watch her as she has had this baby 3 weeks ago. Dr. Cherry Jones is here, you guys. And for you all that don't know, she is one of my favorite family therapists. Where are you, Dr. Jones?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. It's a joy, it's a pleasure to be here to share space and time with you.
Oh,
So thank you for having me.
you're such a blessing. I think it's the support from me because you have been very supportive of this journey that I've been on in regards to educating the world about ACEs. You've been there, and I thank you so much for your support. You
No
just had a
problem.
baby.
I did, and I was like, let me come on here and let me see what this lovely doc is about because
Yes.
your name is everywhere. You've been doing so many things. You've been telling the community about ACEs, and we know that you are now like the ACEs doctor. You are the
Thank
ACEs
you.
queen. And
Thank you.
so I want to, as much as I want to give and pour into you, I would love for you to pour into me as well and for us
Oh,
to continue to do so.
I
Continue to do
told
so.
you, our community is all of that because that's what I believe is what has helped me grow. I think this has turned into what we call the ACE method, the awareness, community, and empowerment, because Calvin believed in me. I've been on his show several times.
Mhm.
He is the teacher of the year, and he hates when I say it, but he is an amazing teacher. And I was in education. So just, the transition of being in a classroom and being online has been interesting. Like Marv is like, you can do this. And I'm like, are you serious? So to be in the episodes like this, as someone that has been supportive, I have to say thank you before we even begin, because honestly, it's people like you that this is the reason why it's growing and glowing. And this is the Cycle Breaker series. And I think that has ignited a lot of people to really want to learn about ACEs because of that. So, from doctor to doctor, I honestly think that's what it is because our community does not want to talk about ACEs at all.
We don't want to talk about it, but we talk about it every day, right? We don't want to talk about it, but it's
Yes.
something that we definitely talk about in a different way
Mhm.
every day.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm excited to talk about it, especially
Yeah.
from a family therapist perspective and point of view.
Yes. So let's start off. You do know about ACEs.
Yes, I do.
When did you find out about ACEs?
It was in my master's program, honestly. So I went to University of Michigan, and I don't think that I was kind of privy or aware of ACEs, possibly because of my childhood trauma. And
Mhm.
with ACEs, they say like up until like it's your first 18 years of life. And
Right.
so thinking about undergrad, it's you still like on that brink of 18 years, being 18 years old. So I think because I was fully inundated with childhood trauma, I
Right.
wasn't even like aware of what ACEs was, me being self-aware of my own trauma and that nature. So I became like fully aware of it during my master's program. So in Chicago at Adler University.
Okay. And before
Yes.
I didn't I introduced you. I thought it was a pretty good introduction, but as we continue going, we'll go over, the things of, being going to college, getting your doctorate degree, those type of things too. Because I think as African American women and being in the 2%, that's another success of being a cycle breaker. So even with that, I'll talk about the fact that I admire your family. Of course, you know that. You and your husband. I mean, just what you all are doing as a family. I mean, I think it really needs to be introduced to some, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, for me, I'll talk about my family of origin and then family of creation.
Yes.
So with my family of origin, family therapist, we use that as, okay, how did you grow up? Who did you grow up with? Who was around you? And so I like to share that I had like a peekaboo father. So he'd be in and out. Um, and like the times like where he would not be as present, it would range from 3 months to a year or two. And so I am the middle child of five beautiful, amazing, lovely Black women. We were raised by my mom here in Detroit, born and raised
Okay.
in Detroit. Good old shout out to Cynthia Louise Taylor Tolbert for raising us. And so birth order is very important to me because, with every birth, you have a different mom and dad. And
Hmm.
so I have tried to think about that and consider that as I have grown up looking back on it. But we were raised like in the hood of Detroit.
Yeah.
Um, and so being raised in poverty, I believe that that is community violence. So
Yes,
when I look
it
and I
is.
see that on ACEs, I'm always like being mindful of where poverty stands and
Hmm.
what choices you have within that and how you are self-aware, self-conscious, self-confident, even within those experiences. Um, so yeah, that's a bit about how or who I grew up with.
I see it. You said
And
it. So
okay.
we know you are aware of ACEs. We know when, we know why, and your ACEs score. What's your ACEs score?
I have a lovely 7. 7 out of 11.
And I think what I love about it is who cares? It's more or less an awareness tool. And I think once people understand that, then we'll be fine. It's the awareness for me. That's the
Mhm.
reason why I'm pushing for just ACEs 101. Let me tell you what it is. That type of thing, because we don't. And I think it's because the generation that I came in, like I graduated in 1995. ACEs did not exist at all. I know, right? I know. But yeah, no, for real. I'm serious. They didn't have that. 1995 to 1997, Dr. Andrew Felitti and Robert Anda were conducting the study. This is the second largest study, and I know you know that. This is the second largest study in the United States. Over 17,000 people took the study. They came up with the word or the acronym adverse childhood experiences in 1998. 1998 was a great year, by the way. Graduated in 99. So I was excited. I was introduced to it back in the day. So shout out to Dr. Robert Kreiner. I loved research, but I didn't know what to do with it. And I think this is the reason why it's always full circle for me because I started off undergrad psychology. I just didn't know what to do with it. I didn't.
Mm,
However, that childhood trauma was real because I definitely did not want to go to college. College. I was forced. So I think that's where mentorship comes in for me, but that's only because of understanding ACEs. So didn't know about categories, didn't know about any of that. I just
mm,
lived my unresolved childhood trauma life.
mm. And I'm thinking about like just how you use the word forced.
Hmm.
Um, because people were making you go, or did you feel as though like you had to go?
Hmm. I didn't want to be at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? After going through everything that I was going through, I just didn't want to be at home. So it was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Let me go to college. I think that's what we're supposed to be doing, going to college. And I went to college.
Mhm.
Kicked it hard. And when I got that note that said you're on probation, I said, "Oh, I gotta do what I gotta do." You see what I'm saying? But for somebody that is seriously a first generation high school graduate, just me graduating from high school was a big deal.
Yes.
And you want to talk about aces? Yes, it's near and dear to me. So I think that's what, and I'll ask you, how has understanding your aces score helped you grow professionally and personally?
Professionally, it has allowed for me to be more culturally sensitive professionally. You never know like anyone's background, especially until like they share or if you have been a witness to it as well.
Right.
So, like as you go higher and higher up, it's a way in which you tend to portray yourself. There are mannerisms that you try to cling to that either like where you try to hide where you've come from in terms of your past, where you still have shame and guilt from where you have come from or what you've experienced. And so just as you said before, like ACE is being used as a tool, it not necessarily defining who you are
Right.
as a person. And so for other people still within their professional experience, they still feel as though their childhood experiences define who they are. And so trying not to lean into those childhood memories at all, being far away from it. And so when I say witness it, as I've developed my professionalism, my self-confidence in my career, I've been able to like meet people where they are. And it's
Mm,
like, okay, well, one, I remember you from past childhood experiences. And how have you made it from then? And them saying, I don't want to go there. But me
mm,
like just embracing it and saying, okay, this is an experience that I've had, but it doesn't define me. And there are other
mm.
people who have experienced these things who end up in the room with us today.
Right.
And so like using it as my testimony, using it as um, a way to highlight my spirituality, how
Yes.
God has been good to me, but then also how I've just used it to make it in a sense. So
Hmm.
not using it as something to boggle me down as a weight, because I have before,
Yeah.
especially when we talk about within ACEs. I think it was like whether or not you feel as though you're important, and I think about self-confidence in that way. And then it being a risk factor for September,
Mm.
Suicide Awareness Month,
Yes.
it being like a risk factor for you, like taking your own life, for you being or being a part of risky behaviors.
Mm.
And so using it as a tool professionally in order to help me with my clients, in order to help me with myself in those rooms with people who haven't experienced the same things that I have in my childhood. But then, being able to use it as a non-defining force for me.
Mm. Mm.
That's been very powerful. Personally,
Hmm.
it helps with mothering, with parenting, reparenting myself, with being in community with my husband, with being able to say, okay, yes, although we are Black people, we still have different lived experiences because me having my ACEs score, my husband might not share that same ACEs score.
Right.
And so knowing that those are two different cultural dynamics that are at play. So personally having to say, okay, yes, even though we have these shared experiences, some of these experiences aren't necessarily the same. And that's okay. We can still work through and communicate what that looks like for us.
Let me tell you something. Let's put a pause right here. This is also the reason why you hear people run from therapy so bad. And I just don't understand why. And so this is also another reason why you're here. We've had several therapists, as you already know, that have been on here. So shout out to Mr. Charlie. I definitely have to introduce you to him.
This.
He is, yeah, Mr. Manifest. I mean, I'm getting back to Detroit because I have no other choice. I met some valuable people there, and you are there. When we talk about community and the awareness and the understanding, I think this is the reason why you are also here because there's nothing wrong with therapy. There's this stereotype that there is something wrong with it. And I just don't understand why. So to have this conversation and say, hey, this is what she's doing, I think for us, the ones that support you, not just in your ministry, because it's a ministry to me, for you. I'll be honest. I thought it was amazing to watch you and the love of your children and how you really don't hide that. I think that's a wonderful thing to see. We watched it, you know what I mean? Like we watched. It was fun. Some
Thank
people
you.
don't even have that opportunity because you
Mhm.
have to hide yourself from the world, but you also people know that you really don't have to, especially being a therapist. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Welcome.
with that, our boundaries. Because
Hmm.
as I am on social media, there are so many things that I do not share.
Mm,
And so I'm like, there's a difference between secrecy and privacy. And I am honestly a very private person. But when
mm.
it comes down to family, when it comes down to awareness, when it comes down to you trying your best to make sure that your community members know that just like you go and see a dentist for your health, your oral health, you go and get your eyes checked. You go and get your hair done. You go and make sure that physically you are okay by
Mm.
seeing like your OB, seeing your PCP. As
Right.
a therapist, we have to make sure that our heart and our spirits are okay. And so it's necessary. And I'm like, this is a necessary part of life. And so those are some of the pieces that I tend to share, like those necessary parts, experiences of life that everybody shares, that everybody goes through. Some I may not share. A lot I do share, but your therapist is a regular person.
Exactly.
hmm A regular person trying to make it work just like everybody else, going through and picking apart their own childhood experiences, the childhood drama, still
Exactly.
having to show up to family dinners, family breakfasts with people that they don't
Mhm.
want to. But
Right.
boundaries are like what's key. What are
And
your
see,
boundaries and how you sticking to them?
you've said the key words, even key terms people don't know. We highlight the ones that we need and then put an emphasis on the ones that we actually really don't want to, like red flags or protecting your boundaries.
Mhm.
But what's something you wish people understood, like that they don't talk about enough?
I feel as though there's so many.
It
Like
is.
one of the things that I wish people understood, but it is
Now, I'll share with you this.
go ahead.
I I I have I'm opening up. I'm very private too. This conversation thing, I'm really, but I cannot help but to be traumatized by what's going on in Chicago. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I know for a fact because I've done research there, the numbers have went down in regards to violence. They're not up there in numbers. So why are you really bullying us? So I'm triggered. You know what I mean? So that's another, hyphenated word that people, kind of use and misuse because they don't know what it is. But when I shared it today, I told the Lunch and Learn, I said I had to share this because I want you guys to know. Yeah, while it's on the news and it might not be a big deal to anybody else, it's a big deal to me.
Hmm.
Bad.
Uh, How have you been sitting with it as you are thinking about it today, just in this space?
I think me sharing it helped.
Mhm.
I think it helped because that was how I felt. I'm used to holding stuff in and I'm learning not to and release and because the stress holds on in me, I'm telling you, I got therapists, coaches, the whole nine trust. I got a whole team. And it helps me to get it out. So I felt like let me do this and let me educate you guys because people are coming to me for education. I am watching people really understand adverse childhood experiences based off of this book. It has taken me a year. It's really a big deal. And I know that it is. But sitting in it is like, it feels great because people are like, yeah, I need books. I need this. What's next? Like, what's your next steps? So that's why it's great to do the Cycle Breaker series so people know that there are next steps for people that have ACEs. We all have We have it, you guys. We have it.
hmm One of the things, many things which you brought up that I wish people understood was I wrote something down. One, words, using words correctly,
Mhm. Mm.
knowing your terms, knowing the
Mm.
definitions for things.
Yes.
Even within ACEs, like as I go through the assessment, I'm like, well, someone's definition for this might be a little bit different. And
Yes.
so really making sure that we don't assume. I wish that we understood that as well. Not
Yes.
assuming, knowing what it is that you're talking about, being able to communicate even more, getting it
Yes.
out is always better than holding it in.
Yes.
And
I
so I wish
agree.
people understood that. Make sure that you get it out in some type of way to someone, a trusted person, trusted someone.
Yeah.
The other thing is not everybody is a therapist. I wish people understood that as well. Not everybody is a therapist, but I'm so glad that you have somebody to talk to, a
Mhm.
supportive person to
Mhm.
to speak up to and to talk with your issues about because that's a protective factor.
Yes.
And so, yes, we do have these adverse childhood experiences, but then also looking at what are the protective factors that you do have as well.
Right. And I always let everyone know because I am an educator. I am not a therapist. I am not. I am not. I always make sure to have therapists in the room, therapists and or coaches. That's another thing people have to understand. There's different types of therapy. Every therapist may not, but I do know of people that use the ACEs assessment as an intake assessment. So
Me, I
again,
use it a part of my intake. Hmm
that's another reason why she's here, guys. I knew that. That's our bond.
Yes. Yes.
So you have to understand how valuable this tool is. And I think people are now more because again, now I'm getting calls from the research of it now. Like, okay, let's get the research. So you're doing research for real, live case studies. Yes, this is what I do for real. So there's so much more than this woman just yelling about it. I'm in it for real. I cannot help it. So having these conversations are important because it's bringing awareness in communities where it's needed, especially in our communities. You're in Detroit. I had to do everything starting in Chicago
hmm
because I represent Chicago. Like they
It's a
know
city.
it. Yeah. So I had to. And
hmm
that's what it is for me. And you have been a part of the movement, I want to say, since the beginning.
Well, I've seen you. I've seen the lunches came a little bit later for me.
Yeah.
I was there when you were talking. Um, was it at night? I'm trying to think of when it was. Okay, it was at night on
I want to say I
lives.
started in Clubhouse.
Okay,
And it was a night thing
during. Hmm
because I was in schools. And I was racially discriminated against for the last time. I could not take it. And here I am. I'm leading a worldwide movement. It's an amazing thing to see because people are really linking up. There is a young lady who is going to graduate in December in Liverpool. And it's you can link ACEs up to so many things. And I think that's what people have to understand that it really is doing this. There's a young lady at Wayne State, Tasia Gamble, just did her capstone. She sent everything to me. I was supposed to be up there last year for the conference and missed it due to my health. But when I went up there this year, they rolled out the red carpet. I was able to meet her. I met so many valuable people there. I have to come back. I'm telling you, because they're building a community, a real strong community there. I know it. And
Please, please
I
come
will be
back.
back with Calvin. I know for a fact I am. I'll be back for sure. Because I
Please.
like when I would come and visit his show too.
Yes, 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 yes. I love it. And then, of course, like with using the ACEs scores, that being like an awareness piece that we can take into the school system, of
Mhm.
course, into therapy and what that looks like surrounding mental health for families, especially when I do therapy work with moms. it's a whole like ACEs question concerning like your mom, concerning your parent, your caregiver. And so
Mhm.
I think of things like that. Not only what's on the ACEs assessment, but then I also think about like what's not there, what's
Right,
not present.
right.
What more can someone share and tell me that is not like necessarily there on the assessment as well? And so I'm wondering for you, when it comes down to folks like having questions about the ACEs assessment and them giving you feedback about what isn't there, if this is something that occurs, what do you do?
I honestly get a lot of feedback for that. And that's how I like to value that feedback. So, like, there's a young lady who believes that adoption should be an adverse childhood experience. And so I want to be supportive of her and advocate for it because I believe it need to be on there too. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it just really depends. Now, this is the one that I use is a live study. It's mine's. I got that from the CDC, permission, and people can do it by respect. There are different types of ACEs quizzes out there, but mine's is
Mhm.
used. But that is that data that you can use. I have therapists, I have coaches, I have had school districts, I've had people ask, and I actually generate a personalized ACEs quiz because I have a lot of therapists that use it for their intake. Like how you use it for your intake. I
Mhm.
work with therapists that use their questions respectfully for their intake. So I add the ACEs, put theirs on there, and they have their own live data. Yeah, I'm real heavy into this ACEs thing,
I
seriously.
love it. And of course, like we need folks like you who are not necessarily going because of course you multifaceted black woman. But of course, like we talk about going into like a realm of things versus going more in depth and having more breadth of
Yeah.
certain aspects of mental health, certain
Yes.
aspects of trauma.
Yes.
And I think that's what you do.
Yes,
I'm
that's what
like, that's it.
I tell people I stay away from I don't want, please do not call me for therapy. That's not what I do at all. And not to take away from you all. You all are lovely. I have had some phenomenal, and I have to shout her out. Candace Washington is out here doing her thing. I think she was like episode 20 or 30 and shared her story about her suicide. And when I tell you, she works for NAMI right now. So I really am heavy into this mentorship thing too. And I think people coming on the podcast start to ask questions like how you're asking, and we develop our friendships and our relationships. Because, like, I'll be honest, what you did when you were going through your pregnancy, I thought it was seriously an amazing sight to see. And I'm ready to see what your next steps are going to be because I don't know how you're going to go back to work. I think you should stay home and be a mom. I'm sorry. I do. And that's only because you did so well with doing that part. But this is what we do. So let me ask you something that is not on the questions. What are your next steps? I know the baby's fresh and she's 3 weeks old, but what's the next steps?
The next steps I feel would definitely be me either opening up my own practice, um, me, of course, and my husband doing some curriculum writing, doing lots of coaching, lots of touring, and giving folks feedback on like what it is that they're doing in terms of parenting and how to parent better or just how to communicate better when it comes down to promoting lovely, healthy families. That's been like honestly like at the core. I'm like, God, please
Cannot
use
wait to introduce you
us.
to Mr. Charles because this is who we were looking for. This is what he has already done. He has panels where he has couples that have that conversation. He is the person that I'm using. We did the barbershop and the sister talk, and it went well. Shout out to, I mean,
Nice.
who he had. They were phenomenal. So it's kind of, I just want to see how this community thing is going to happen and work. And it is working. It is, I mean, it is amazing. So just know that this is how community is formed. Here it is, just us having this conversation and networking and communicating is how that awareness, community, and empowerment goes. You want to be around people, you guys, that know about your experiences. You don't have to hide them. You don't have to pour on them every time. It's the fact that you're in a community that knows that you have an ACEs score, you have a story, and you're ready to start your journey to healing.
Yes. And talk
So I
about
think that's what it
community.
is for me.
Community is one of those protective factors,
Mm,
especially when you have been or when you are one of those folks who have a high ACEs score, where you are someone who is like just starting like your career path, really getting your feet on the ground within your career, trying to figure out what your next steps are.
mm,
Our childhood trauma comes up in those times during
yeah.
transitions the most. And so one of the things that we tend to do is kind of like isolate ourselves during transitions and transitional periods. And so I want you to know that I use this as an experiment for me.
Mm.
Because Miss Tabitha Brown said, do something that you haven't done before. And this is my second time that I've been on a podcast, and I haven't done it by myself. So I've done a podcast before, Black Friday's podcast. Shout out to Denzel Turner. But I haven't done a podcast by myself. And so I was like, let me try something new because her book, New Things, Do Something New,
Yes.
30 days. I was like,
Yes.
let me try something new.
Mm,
But I tend to isolate myself because of my childhood trauma
yeah.
and experiences.
Hmm.
I'm one who always push community, community, but that at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I know that I can trust myself more. And so let me do things on my
Good.
own. And so I
Look at what
want
we
to
just
push myself.
did.
Hmm.
Come on, man, because this is what we have to do, you guys. So if you could say one thing to someone beginning their healing journey, because they're going to take their ACEs quiz after watching this episode, I promise. What what would you say to someone beginning their journey? What's their steps?
If you are beginning your journey, please know to take it one day at a time. I did not know that I would be here at 33 years old, just 17, 18 years ago.
Mm,
At 15, I told myself that I would not be here by the next year.
mm,
And then I was told to just trust God, just take it one day at a time. Can I see you? Can I see you tomorrow? Am I going to be
mm.
able to see you next week? Try, give it a try, just through the next day. See what you do when you have like an area of gratitude. Give one thing that you're thankful for within this next day. And then let me see you do it again for the next day. Pick it back up that following day. And here I am, a few years later,
Okay,
with
God.
kids, being present for them. And I wouldn't have known that I would be celebrating not only my birthdays to come after 15, but then also their birthdays to come.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
And this is the reason why we're here, you guys. The Cycle Breaker series is bringing some power. And I think that's the reason also why it's working. Because God knows who his people are.
Hmm.
It's time to open up the door to something we should have been talking about a long time ago. I think we're the generation to do that. Now, yes, I am 48. Love it. And I think that's because of all the history that I have experienced.
Hmm.
It's humbling to see your generation wanting to take this action. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Seriously.
And
So,
I'm so thankful that we're on this journey together
yes.
in this lifetime. And we're going to continue to do so in the following lifetimes.
Absolutely. I'm going to be right there. I'm Auntie Torie. Like, let's be clear, because just to see you all, I mean, she has twins. When I mean this young lady, I have been watching her just love on her mama. It's just an amazing thing to see. So that's the reason why the ACE method is working. And people are like, tell me more about the ACE method. It really isn't hard once you find your community. You have to find it though. find that community. And you've been a part of mine for a while. So I want to again thank you so much for being here. Is there
Thank you for
anything you want
having
to
me.
tell our audience in regards to understanding ACEs?
When it comes down to understanding ACEs, I feel as though you should definitely talk about it with someone else. As you continue to become aware of what your ACEs mean to you, your score means to you, it's so important to then talk about it with somebody else. So then they can be aware of their score, of their ACEs, and then be in community with someone else to share it with someone else. I think that it's powerful when we use our stories and our shared experiences to then gather the troops and
Yep.
tell others about it as well. That awareness piece goes a long way.
It does. And I will share this is an international podcast. It has been used educationally. I think that is the added value for me, what made me take the podcast part more seriously now, because doing the live podcast during the ACES International Conference hit.
Mhm.
It hit. I knew, but I didn't know until I got the feedback from the people overseas that said yes.
Wow.
The people in Nigeria really enjoy, Portugal. Like I really didn't know. So I think that's the reason why I have to continue doing this because look at the added value you just added. And then look at you coming out of your shell because you're going with us. Let's be clear. The family couple having the conversation, there's doulas out there. There's all kind of you can pour into so many people just by being you. And I
Mm.
think that is the rare authenticity of being in this community that has been faith-based and driven since I started. I don't hide that I stepped out on faith and took this. What else could I do? Every time I go to a school, they try to demeanor me and make me different, all because I'm an educated Black woman with a degree.
Hmm. Hmm. But look at you now.
And so we got work to do because again, you know how this is needed in your community enough to know that you said it. I was just waiting those magic terms. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of value in within you working for yourself. Absolutely.
Hmm.
I don't think I ever want to go back. My daughter's running for homecoming.
Come on, daughters.
Listen, I don't hide my love for them. I won't. I think honestly, what it is with me being with myself, I
Hmm.
can be that mom. So I think that's another, bond. I can be that mom because when you're an administrator in a school and you're doing this, you have to be there for this meeting, you have to do this, and you have to do this, you have to do this. I think that too was another sign from God saying, "Yeah, let's let you step out on faith and do it.
You're
This is
being
it."
pulled in so many different directions.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let her go ahead and homecoming it out, and here we go. And I think that's the thing that people need to see for those who understand what cycle breaking looks like. Because again, you just told your story. You just told your story. Just told it. And I didn't even know that you were a
Amen.
blessing. I knew you were a blessing from day one. And thank you. Seriously.
Thank you for allowing me to have this space. Thank you for allowing me the time. Of course, I was thinking about September and I was like, oh goodness. Oh goodness. I didn't know I was going to have to talk about my score. So thank you for
And I think
allowing
that
me to
was a sign
share.
from God because the crazy thing is we are packed. Like when I mean packed, like I went from, hey, cousin such and such, like, or hey, now it's like, okay, let me fill out this social, let me do this and let me
Hmm.
reschedule and do this because that's a blessing to me. It is an amazing blessing. So I thank you. I'm gonna see what I can work out. I have to get this out here within because people need to know. And I'm not saying that in this way, not to say it wouldn't make an impact without what I'm saying is I see how the Lord is moving and have never ever redirected. But I have to go with the grace of God. I have to because this is how I have grown. Seriously. Watch it help.
Amen.
Watch.
Amen. Well, I'm excited for the things that you are going to continue to do,
Thank
the
you.
things that you have been doing.
Thank
Just know
you.
that we're watching.
Thank
But
you. I
thank
know
you so much for your
I know
consistency
it.
and your diligence. It's
Yes.
really, really inspiring to see. I'm like, goodness, okay,
Yes.
she is for sure like consistent. We're
Yes.
talking about aces. Let me
Yeah.
make sure I'm being consistent. So
And
I
not
want you to know because of you and your consistency, it's helped me and mine.
thank you.
Mhm.
I've heard that before. And oh, that's so wonderful to hear because people have said it like, man, you are really good at this ACEs thing. I'm learning a lot. And it's like, oh, thank you. I cannot give up on what I believe in. It changed my life for real. And just putting it out there, just having it. And then you got my the staff that I talk to, the people in my cohort, just everybody, y'all. I promise you, this is what my dissertation coach asked me. What do you want to do? So that's the reason why the book is going so well. So again, it as much as I want to be private, it kind of got that personal addition enough
It's gonna come.
understand this is what cycle breaking looks like. And that's the reason why you're here. So I look forward to more collaborations. I look forward to more ways where people can understand and feed off of you because you're so valuable. And I say that because of it being the entire truth to me. So let people know where they can find you.
Thank you, Queen. You can find me right at Dr. Cherry Jones on Instagram. Please share my email with anyone who would like to find me there or send me a note or send me anything, questions, comments, concerns. But then also Psychology Today if you need a therapist.
Because we got work we got to do, you guys.
Yes, and if you
I
want to follow
want,
my family at Just Jones LLC on Instagram as well.
yes. There is a variety of things. There are a variety of individuals. I want you guys to know she has been a part of the community. Trust me, this is Dr. Cherry Jones. This is someone who, when I tell you she's in it. Just the way that she feeds, the way that she educates. You guys should be definitely following her after this. So you guys know you will see more things from us and you'll see more collaborative, informative discussions. Thank you guys again. You have reached another episode of Be Victorious, and we will see you guys soon. Bye bye, you guys.